Good morning. This place is bananas. Good morning. Happy Thursday. We're bananas this week. No, seriously, the kids are bananas because we're supposed to have snow and they are acting all kinds of wild and wacky. So one of the kids goes, "Why are you wearing a banana hat?" And I said, "Well, why are you wearing a cowboy hat?" He goes, "Because I'm a cowboy." I said, "Well, I'm a banana." He just started laughing so hard. It was really funny. Anyway, that's second grade humor for you. I thought I'd just show you my outfit, and then I'm going to get back to work because I have a sub tomorrow. All of us in second grade do because we're doing curriculum writing. So I'm going to try to make it as easy as possible. Maybe we'll have a snow day. It's possible, right? Anything's possible. Anyway, I have a basic outfit on today because the banana is the star of the show, of course. So I have just a long sleeve tee on with a brown cardigan. I have some leggings with owls on them, some brown boots. I have some bracelets from Maurice's. I have earrings and a necklace from Walmart a long time ago. And that's what I got going on. Let me back up so you can see it all. Here is a close-up of my leggings in case you're interested. Alrighty, so today's hat day, as you can obviously see. I had a different hat on. It was my decoy hat, so that the kids would be surprised when they saw me later. I didn't want to come into the building with my awesome hat on, so I just had like my little beret kind of hat on earlier. And I can wear that if I choose to go somewhere after school. Caitlyn is at a plant conference symposium thing in Kansas City today, so driving to school by myself was weird, and it's gonna be weirder when it's like that all the time because she's going to graduate in May. For Power Hour, we did a watch, think, color that I had arranged to be a 3-digit subtraction without regrouping. The kids just, I don't know, they weren't very focused today for some reason. A lot of them are the ones that I have usually because they tend to move up to the next level when whatever group I'm in. And they just were confused. Even though I gave them directions, what I did was I made one slide that would have a subtraction problem and they would have to find the answer and then color that in on their 120 chart. Then the next 2 or 3 would just have the number to color. Because if you gave them like 50 subtraction problems, that's a lot. That's a lot. And it's supposed to be in a little bit of review, but some fun too. And so I didn't want them to be like, I mean, that'd be a lot for me to have to do. So like I said, every 2 or 3 slides, they just colored the number in. And I told them that. I said, you'll have a subtraction problem on some slides, and then you'll have a few that just have the number to color. If it just has a number, that's what you color on your paper. And then when the number came up, the kids were like, "What, 38? What? That's not what I got." I'm like, "Honey, that's not the answer to the last slide. That's a new thing to color. Color that number in on your paper." And they're like, "What?" I'm like, I don't know how else to explain that. 38, find 38 on your paper. Color that square in. I don't know. I think we need either to have better weather or worse weather, but this in-between stuff is for the birds, man, for the birds. For Go Math today, we are doing more 2-digit subtraction using the standard algorithm. Yay. And I taught them that little poem thing or rhyme. It says, more on top, no need to stop. More on the floor, go next door and take 10 more. So I've been reminding them of that every time we do it. And I say, "Oh, on this one, is there more on top or more on the floor?" And they tell me, and I go, "Oh, so do we regroup or not regroup?" And they tell me. And then we do the problem, and then they do some independent practice. But the strategies at the beginning of this chapter were throwing some of my kids for a loop when they would have to, for regrouping purposes, they would take one of the 10s and they'd break it down into 10 pieces, 10 ones, and then take from those ones and count what was left, basically. And they were like, "What are we?" I'm like, "We're just moving them around just like we did in addition." And they're like, "It's okay. Let's just see if we can do some more of these. We'll do a few more." I even had them cross out a page yesterday. I'm like, "I'm not going to make you do like 10 more of these. That's crazy." Because the ultimate goal is to get them to the standard algorithm. They're just trying to show them step by step how it works. But some of the kids, it's just too abstract for them. It really is. They don't understand it. So we just moved on. I grabbed one of the problem solving ones, which I don't normally do because we do some of that in Power Hour. But I did one of the math stories with them, and I said, when we're done with this, we're going to do this other thing. And they're like, yay. So that's how I kept them with me for a few more minutes. I'm like, hold on for a few more minutes. Just hang in there for a few more minutes and we'll move on, okay? They're like, okay. I was happy when that lesson was done. I was ready to move on, do something different after that, and they were too. For Rooted in Reading today, we are going to be talking about pronouns and learning how to use them and what they are and when they're appropriate to use and when you should use a name. We're going to do a Scholastic News this afternoon called Robo Dog, Robo Pup, and it's about robotic animals, so that'll be cool. They'll be all over that. I'm gonna get back to work because I have to go get my kids in about 15 minutes, so I'll try to check back in with you later. Since I'm going to be out all day on Friday, tomorrow, doing curriculum work and planning, I thought I would make it easy on my sub by pre-packaging all of the snacks for them. So all they have to do is just have a kid come grab a bag and they can just eat it right there and throw the bag away. So I have already measured out our little popcorn, Lucky Charms, and Bugle mixture, because on Fridays we kind of do a mixed up mashup snack. I thought this might be very appreciated. Oh, I just got my kids shuffled off to recess, and I got one student in another classroom so they could do their math because they didn't want to do it during math time. They wanted to goof around. And they kept saying, I can't do it, I can't do it. I'm like, okay, what's the problem? And the problem was they didn't want to do it. It wasn't that they couldn't do it, they didn't want to do it. So I'm like, well, maybe you need a different room to do it in, so we'll find you a different room at recess to do it in. And this particular student, I have tried every other thing with them, and nothing's working. Moving them away from other students in the classroom doesn't work. Moving them into the hallway to do their work doesn't work. So taking them to another classroom to do their work does work. And the only time for him to do it today is during recess. I don't like to take recess away. However, I don't do it very often. And he has got to learn that you don't play during work time. He was goofing around, jumping, bugging people, just kind of being a pest to people. And yeah. So he's using his time now to do it. And I'll go check on him in a little bit. Maybe he can have a little bit of recess. But it's just frustrating when you know a kid is capable and they just won't even try. So I'm trying to make everything be a natural consequence. If you play during work time, then you're going to have to do a little bit of work during your playtime. Just kind of how it works out. I realized that I need to get all my materials together in one place for my sub tomorrow. I will be in here for morning duty, so I can like lay things out in the morning, but I'll have a good 30 minutes at the end of today that I can do it too, because I don't have after school duty. So I'll just do it then. It'll work out great. When the kids come back in about 10 minutes, we're going to do the Robo Pup Scholastic News, and they're super excited about it. I showed them the cover and told them what it was, and they're like, oh, are we gonna build one? And I'm like, well, that would be super cool. I don't have robotics equipment. Our school doesn't have that, but that would be super cool. Yeah, really cool. Maybe they can build one with their mom and dad. I don't know. And then after that, I told them that they were going to do a text-based evidence page, which we've done these before. They're made by DeCarbo, and I'll show you. I already read through it once with them, so they'll be familiar with it. I think I moved them over here. Yeah, they're over here. Forgot where I put them. Okay, so I projected it on the board, and we read it as a class. And then I went over the questions, like what they're supposed to find. And then I marked one of the snowflakes down here at the bottom. They're supposed to read this 3 times and mark a snowflake every time they've read it. Then they go back and they find the answers in the text using different colors of crayon or colored pencil. And I'm going to allow them to work with one partner after they've tried it on their own first, because I do have some lower readers that will probably need a little bit of help. However, that group I may just pull to my table with me. My lowest group that goes to reading intervention, I think that's what we're going to do today. The rest of them are reading at grade level or almost at grade level, and that text is not second grade level. It's a little bit easier than that. So it should be perfect for most of my class. And then I can intervene on the ones that are having trouble. That'll basically be our day. I'm going to try to get some more of the gingerbread stories edited and do more reading groups today. I'm going to try to get everyone their newer book so that they can have it and they can read it tomorrow too, maybe, on gone. I finished cutting out the rest of these that Caitlyn wasn't able to finish yesterday. She did so many of them though. She did all 16 of the purple ones. And she did probably 9 or 10 of the red ones. So, and she got my little cards that go around the room too. And then I realized I only have to plan for 3 days next week, not 4, because we don't have school on Monday since it's Martin Luther King Jr. Day and we're off. We're closed. So yay. Caitlyn's birthday is tomorrow. She will be 18 on the 18th, so it's her grand birthday. She has decided that she wants to do a family thing on Friday, probably go to Outback and have a fancy dinner and just spend time with us. And then Saturday, she has invited some friends to come over and we're gonna have little appetizers and pizza and they're gonna play games. So that sounds really fun, especially on a snowy, wintry day. There is a possibility that the weather will be bad though, and she may not get to do it. If it's yucky out, we won't expect people to come from here and go to our house, which is half an hour away. So let's hope it's not too bad. And I heard that there's weather going into Kansas City. It's supposed to ice. So I hope Caitlyn is away from that on the way home before that hits, because she's not even supposed to be home till 8:30 tonight. We'll see. Yes, my mama nerves are a little worried. Yeah. So I'm on my own for a while. Yeah. My husband took my daughter with him to his town where he works because they were going to pick her up at the Walmart there. They left at 5:30 this morning. And so I was by myself from 5:30 until I left. I don't know if I was getting ready slow or if I was just, I don't know. I got here in plenty of time. I got here at 7:10. I have time to do some things. I ate my breakfast and I got some things ready and I started cutting these dice out. So it was all good. Okay, my alarm is going off for me to go get my kids. So I'm gonna go do that. I'll check on my little math wizard in the other classroom and see how he's doing. And we'll finish our day. What is the article mostly about? Different kinds of robot animals, how to build a robot, or different kinds of robot dogs. Discuss among your team members. Don't tell them the answer. Okay, A, different kinds of robot animals. Here we go. You just got 100 points. Yay, okay, team 2, you ready? Okay, here we go. If something is flexible, it cannot bend easily, cannot climb trees, can bend easily. C, can bend easily. 100 points. Oh, let's be good sports. You're all tied now. That's awesome. All right, team 1. How can Mod Snake help people who are trapped under a fallen building? It can take pictures of the rescue team. It can pull the people out of the building. It can take pictures of the people for the rescue team. What do you think, team 1? Team 1. Team 1. Don't give them the answer. All right, it can take pictures of the people for the rescue team. Yay! Okay, hold on a second. We have a new player. Okay, team 2, here we go. Here's your question. You ready? All right, here we go. A gecko's help it climb up walls. Sticky teeth, big eyes, or sticky toes? Sí, senor. Yay! Hey guys, friends, they didn't boo on you. Let's be happy that they got it right. They shouldn't be booing. You guys did, but they didn't. Silly. Okay, team 1. How are bionic ants like real ants? They have tiny radios that send messages. They work together, or they build things in factories. Okay, remember the question is, how are bionic ants like real ants? They work together! Yay! Team 1 has 300. All right, Team 2. You got a little flippy.
We can take it again because we already...
Hi. I thought maybe I should catch you up on some information that I didn't share yet. Tuesday when Caitlyn and I got home from grocery shopping, we could not find Pikachu anywhere. Like anywhere. We looked everywhere. I looked in the basement. I looked in the closets. I looked in the unfinished storage areas. I looked in the bathroom. I looked in the showers. Everywhere I could think of. In the pantry, on the shelves, behind the washer and dryer. Everywhere. I started to panic thinking somehow he got out of the house and had been outside in the cold all day and froze or something. It was awful because that was a really cold day here. Finally, Caitlyn goes, oh, I found him. She's like, where you been, buddy? Apparently he had been under my bed. Well, I didn't think to look there because he never goes under my bed. So I noticed he was walking kind of funny, and I looked at him and I'm like, Pikachu, what's the matter? And he just kind of wandered over and laid down. Well, I had found a spot in the living room where one of them had gotten sick. Well, I think it was him, because he just laid down and his eyes looked strange, and he started yowling, just intermittently. He would just yowl like he was in the worst pain imaginable. And I'm like, buddy, what's wrong? So I called the vet immediately. Of course, this was Tuesday, mind you. Monday, they're open till 7. Tuesday, they're open till 5. It was 5:30. So I got the emergency number. So finally got a hold of the person, told them what was going on. The vet called me back about 15 minutes later, said she could meet us at the office in about 35 minutes because she was somewhere else. And so I said, okay. Now she said, I want to just tell you, that there's a $125 emergency fee just for coming in, and then everything else is on top of that. So it could be upwards of, it could be hundreds of dollars depending on what's wrong. And I'm like, okay, well, I can't let him suffer like this. Whatever's wrong, we got to do something. So he would just be laying there, and all of a sudden he would just kind of clench him and go, "Ow!" and just, it was a horrible, horrible sound. I knew something was terribly wrong. And he would growl at the other cats when they came around. Didn't really want to be touched. He kind of would shrink away when I would pet him gently. So I knew that was not my Pikachu. So we took him in, and she said, we're going to look at him. She kind of palpated him and said, oh, yeah, he has some kind of blockage. His bladder was so distended that she was afraid it was going to burst. So it turned out he had a urinary blockage of some kind. So he had to stay in the vet hospital for 2 days. So I'm going to pick him up right now because he's getting better. Yay! But through all this, we didn't know if he was going to make it or not, because the vet did say we have to sedate him and put a catheter in and drain his bladder, and we need to keep flushing it to get all of those toxins and things out that have built up. There was a lot of blood involved because it I guess expands the vessels in the bladder and makes them angry, is what she called it. And it's just not a minor procedure at all. It's a pretty hairy deal. And she said, I'm not gonna lie to you, this does kill cats. I'm like, my baby. So she's been keeping me updated on his progress ever since we took him in. She called us about an hour after we brought him in Tuesday and said, that's definitely what it is. Here's what we're going to do. We'll let you know what happens in the morning. We'll keep you updated. Okay. Yesterday she called, said he's doing better. We flushed a lot out of him. The catheter's doing great. He still hasn't been able to go to the bathroom on his own though. And if you've ever had any kind of surgery or anything, they don't let you leave until you've produced something for them. So it's the same way with animals. He had to be doing stuff. He had to be doing stuff on his own before they'd let him out. So kept him overnight for 2 nights. Poor baby. Yesterday she said he was a very angry cat because they kept having a mess with him and it was hurting. They were bugging him, poking on him, doing stuff to him, and he was hurting and he was not happy. He's not a grouchy cat at all. He's a very sweet boy. But even the sweetest creatures can be a little fussy if they're not feeling good. So she called today and said he was doing great. They were able to remove the catheter, and they got pain medicine for him. He's been on pain medicine this whole time. He's going to be coming home with 2 medicines that I have to give him orally, and she said if we can give it in food or just kind of plunk it down his throat. He might need to have special food. He's going to be rechecked in 2 weeks to see how he's doing. I guess they found crystals in his urine, and that's what blocked everything. So she's not sure why those are happening, but he might need a special food to prevent that. But I'm just happy that I'm going to go get my boy now. He's going to be a happy guy coming home. She did say that if we could keep him away from the other cats, like in his own room, so that we could tell if he was going to the bathroom still, that would be good. We need to monitor him pretty closely because you can't let this kind of a thing go. Like she said, the first 48 hours after this type of a thing happens are the most critical times. That's when whatever's going to happen will happen. There had been another cat that she had done this procedure on earlier that same day. And when she called me to tell me his progress yesterday, she said that that cat had already gotten reblocked. She said that's pretty common. They tend to get a blockage sometime later after they've had one, they get more. And I thought, oh my gosh, that already happened like within a day. That other poor cat got blocked up again. I don't know what the outcome was of that little cat. I'm hoping it was good. But the last couple days have been a little bit rough. Tuesday was worse than yesterday. I was pretty upset. And that's why I didn't vlog at home, because all that happened when we got home, and I just couldn't talk about it because it just brought up memories of my dog. When she got sick, everything went south very quickly. Didn't even get to say goodbye to her. We took her to the vet in the middle of the night. They said, oh, we'll check her and see what's wrong. They called back later when we gotten home, and she was already gone. So of course I was thinking all of those things while this is going on. And I don't know if I've shared the story of Pikachu with you before. I probably have a long time ago, but just a little background on him. I have had him since he was a day or 2 old, before he even opened his eyes. He was abandoned by his mother for whatever reason and left in like a window well of a basement on the outside. And it was summertime, so it was pretty warm out. But if you know anything about newborn cats, they cannot regulate their own body heat until they're older. So they rely on their mothers to keep them warm. That's why mama cats basically just lay in a nest for a few weeks after they have their babies, because their babies need them all the time. And it's not super easy to raise a tiny little newborn cat like that, because really mama cats are the best suited to take care of the baby cats. So there was a friend of mine that I went to college with that had found him in her window well. It was her. She's deathly allergic to everything with feathers or fur is what she calls it. So she was pleading with people on Facebook to please come get what she called this little peanut, because she was afraid he was going to die. Well, she had blankets around him, but she didn't know that that doesn't keep them warm because they can't regulate their own temperature. So he was just a fighter. He was determined he wasn't going to die. So anyway, that's how I got him. So he's a little baby that I've had since he was, you know, nothing years old. And he's kind of what started the whole, yeah, we can take care of newborn cats. We've done it 3 times now. So haven't had any failures yet. I think we've gotten better at it over the years too. Kind of know what to expect, know what to do about certain problems. But when I retire as a teacher, which might be this year, I'm just kidding. I'm just speaking from rough days this week, very rough days. When I retire, I would love to have a cat sanctuary where cats can come live out their lives if they're strays. They're vaccinated, they're taken care of, they're spayed and neutered, they're fed, they're loved, and they just live out their days. Because I have enough land for that. I can't have thousands of cats, but I can have a lot. So I guess I have my own little mini farm right now. Anyway, that was kind of a long story, but I just wanted to kind of get that out because I'll probably talk about it sometime later and I won't have shared the story unless I shared it now. So there it is. So I'm on my way to get my fluffy Pikachu boy from the vet. I'm so happy. Something that, I don't know if all cell phone carriers do this now, but I've noticed that on voice messages, it could be that I just finally am getting them. You get a text message with it a lot of times. So, which is awesome at school because I can't be on the phone at school. But if somebody leaves me a voicemail, I can see the text of it. Now, it does have some words missing, and it's kind of like if you do talk to text. You know how sometimes there's something lost in translation? Yeah, where it will misunderstand a word that you said. It's like that, but you get the gist of it. Kind of like using Google Translate or something, where sometimes the context is a little off. But I was able to read the text from the vet earlier to know that he was doing good and I could pick him up. So then she called me too. She called again to check to see if I had gotten the message. Of course, whenever I got the message, I couldn't call her back because, you know, we just can't call any old time of the day. Those little kids get in the way, don't they? Yeah, so I was super happy about that. I've tried not to think about things too much over the last few days. Usually when I'm at school, I can just put that in the back of my mind and not think about it too much because honestly, you're too busy. Too busy keeping all the squirrels in motion. But during lunchtime and when I was going home and at night, I would think about him a lot. And I missed him because he's my lap kitty or my leg kitty. He always lays on the blanket on my legs. He always has and he probably always will. Even when I was in a cast and I had to have my leg propped up, he would lay on mount cast. It had to be the most uncomfortable position ever in the universe, but he was determined to lay on me. So I took the blanket that he always lays on with him to the hospital so he could have that, so it would have the right smells and the comfort. So I'm hoping that he got to lay on that a little bit, but I'm thinking he's going to be overjoyed to be home. Now hopefully the other cats aren't twerps to him because he won't smell right. But I'm not going to worry about that right now. I'm just happy that he's coming home. So I will let you see him after I get him home. Take a little bit of video of him. And he'll probably be really tired. Oh, the vet did say that the pain medicine that he's on, he's very lovey. And the way she put it, this pain medicine tends to make them a little euphoric and very lovey and affectionate. I said, oh, so he's basically high. You've made my cat high. So he's super flying happy on his pain meds. And she said, yeah, he'll rub up all over you and just be all over you. And I'm like, oh, well, Pikachu's a very loving cat anyway, but he's not that loving. He's not a maul all over you kind of cat generally, unless he really wants food. But I thought that was really funny. Okay, well, I'm going to stop talking now because I've talked for like almost 13 minutes. So I'm going to go. I'm in town now, so it'll just be about another 10 minutes before I get to the vet's office and I can pick up my babes. So, see you later. There he is. He's so happy to be out of the carrier and home. You can see where they shaved the fur off his leg. Hi, buddy. You happy to be home? Yeah, you gotta make yourself smell right, don't ya? All right, I'm gonna sign off for today and I'll see you in the morning. Not before Mango says hi. Silly kitty. We just celebrated Caitlyn's 18th birthday. That is why I didn't have much to say earlier. I was at school all day today, but I was working on curriculum with my second grade team. So there was nothing to vlog about. It was super exciting and fun.